bitch in them. $20 million home renovation just to slit your wrists in it. Suicide, this is suicide. Rip apart the Maybach, I know the truth's inside. You 12 lemon pepper wings from a heart attack. Academics, get this nigga Ozempic starter pack. Casa knock, hit the room, turn that stream on. Ags buttons by this brief encounter with King Kong. This ain't the Kendrick beef, my Drake sing song. Shots ring out, your neighbor better have his ring on. Clock swing out, doors open like a swing arm. Pac lean out, Machiavelli with the ring on. Ops is out, they on the same shit that we on. Hospital, wheelchair, hair wrap, swing on. It's payback, pump for the chopper, you try to bring on. Lay back, trust the paper shit that we eat our wings on. I play that shit. I don't have the time to be on the time.
Understand this. Understand this. Understand this. When it come to game, I ain't even want to talk on the intro. When it come to game. When it come to the game, Ross, what you done angered? Ross, who do you done angered? Ross, who you done angered? That you done woke the game up. Lord have mercy. You done woke the wrong nigga in a battle up. Listen, it goes without saying. It goes without saying. There are certain niggas in the rap battle beef game you do not disturb. There are certain people that have gone without saying and have been spoken up before in a rap battle that you do not anger. And that man is one of them. That man is one of them, okay? Oh my goodness gracious. Welcome, welcome, welcome all to the Live from the Spot podcast. I'm your host with the motherfucking most, Chill Murray. Thank you for tuning in or not tuning in. You know how we do. Man, when I heard that earlier, when I woke up to that, I said, wait a minute. Who pissed him off? Who pissed off the game? Why is the game in this? Why is the game in this? And I couldn't understand for the life of me. Because, like I said, I saw, I think a couple of weeks ago, and I think it got taken down from his story. But the game had sided with Drake. He was sitting there playing Enemies. I got enemies. I got a lot of enemies. He was sitting there playing that. And I can't play, of course, the actual short, but the game had decided to side with the Drake then. And I'm trying to figure out what exactly. They don't have any details right now of what's going on between him and Rick Ross, or why him and Ross are beefing. But all I know is the game has now spoke his piece. So I remember before the game had put out his story trolling Rick Ross. He was saying, oh, Wingstop must be closed, it's Monday. That was the only thing that was put out before. Let me see if I can find. Shout out to everybody tuning in on YouTube as well. Yeah, see, it was this one right here. This is the first one. It says, oh shit, what's going on my screen capture? Oh, my screen capture is not working. Be the fat niggas with skinny legs always running their mouth. He put that out a couple days ago. And then there was another one he put out. Hold on. This is the Wingstop one. It was a Wingstop one too. He was like, Wingstop is closed. It must. Oh, there you go. It's quiet today. Wingstop must be closed on Mondays. And like I said, I couldn't for the life of me figure out why the game was taking shots at Ross so much. I didn't hear any shots from Ross on Champagne Moments. But yeah, it wasn't any. That's the thing. It wasn't any shots from Ross toward the game at all. But needless to say, the game is he ain't playing no games right now, and he called it the revenge of Freeway's revenge is what he calls it. The revenge of Freeway Rick Ross. If you don't know who Freeway Rick Ross is the original Rick Ross from Florida. And Rick Ross's character is based upon him, the original Freeway Rick Ross. All the coke dealing and all that's based upon the actual person in real life, Freeway Rick Ross, if you don't know who that is. That is this gentleman here, who did an actual bid and came home to Rick Ross, the rapper, if you don't know. So, real quick, I guess, because I didn't realize we were going to, I should have thought about that. We were going to have to get a quick introduction of who Freeway Rick Ross is necessarily. But I got y'all. But yeah, like I said, so Rick Ross's person is, of course, and most rappers, of course, are based upon certain personas. But Rick Ross specifically is based upon an actual person in real life. And if you don't know, also, quick Easter egg, Freeway Rick Ross is the executive producer behind the show Snow, the famous show Snow that was on Hulu. And if you don't realize, Franklin is based upon Freeway Rick Ross. Matter of fact, before I let y'all Okay, so first things first, give y'all a quick introduction to who Freeway Rick Ross is.
Freeway Ricky Ross.
What's up?
Is it Freeway Ricky Ross, Freeway Rick, Freeway Ricky? But what do you usually go?
And I got about 30. When they had me my indictment, they went down the list of names, my aliases, because different people change it, and so I don't care. Just call me.
Okay, I'll call you Freeway.
That's cool.
Me. All right, so Freeway, where did you grow up exactly?
I grew up in South Central LA, right off of the 110 freeway, which is where I got my nickname from.
Right by the freeway.
87th in Figueroa.
Okay. Now, if you were to describe the conditions that you grew up in terms of your family life and so forth, how would you describe it?
Well, I grew up without my father.
Okay. What happened to your dad?
My mom and my dad broke up when I was 4 months old.
Oh, okay.
So basically, my father was the streets, the big homies. Guys like Tookie Williams, Raymond Washington, Cartoon, guys like that there.
Okay. So when you were growing up, as a kid, during elementary school, junior high, and so forth, were you involved in any sort of criminal activities? Were you essentially a good kid?
I think I started doing my first petty crime maybe around the 6th grade.
Okay. What was that?
I had some friends that had been going to thrifties and they had found out how to get watches out of the cabinet. And I went with them and they got me a watch.
Okay.
It was my first crime.
Your first crime. Did you get caught?
No, we got away, but my mom found the watch. So I didn't get caught by the store, but I got caught. I got a whooping for it.
Okay.
My mom is really, really religious. I mean,
So she just bugged out.
Yeah. Man, I mean.
You couldn't explain where the watch came from, obviously.
I couldn't.
Yeah. So you did a petty crime then. After that, did you continue with more petty crimes?
No, I wanted to be a Crip then.
You wanted to be a Crip?
Yeah, I wanted to be a Crip, but my mom was still strict. And my mom didn't whoop me with switches. She used a telephone card, which today would be child abuse. Yeah. If they knew it. My mom would whoop you. You have whips on your butt.
Okay.
I couldn't join the Crips at that time. But just so happened, before I was old enough to start bucking my mom's rule, I started playing tennis.
Okay.
I fell in love with the game of tennis, and that took me out of South Central LA.
Okay. Now, at the time that you said you wanted to be a Crip, you had mentioned Tookie Williams. Was he already?
Yeah.
He was already part of the, was he?
The Crips was already going.
Was already going?
Yeah, they were already going.
They were already going. And were they trying to recruit you, or were you trying?
No. They
nothing like that. They were good.
I wanted to be a part of what I saw,
Okay.
I saw the togetherness, the organization, and their reputation wasn't as bad as it is right now. Okay. This was before all the murders.
Before the drugs.
Yeah, before drugs. So it was mostly just hanging out, maybe some fist fights, some football games, neighborhood football games, stuff like that there. But I like the togetherness, the camaraderie, the women, and so forth.
So you got into the whole tennis thing.
Yeah.
But you weren't actually able to use tennis to get yourself out of your current situation.
Well, I did in a lot of ways, I mean, if you look at a couple of the guys that I hung with in junior high school who didn't play tennis, 2 of them have life sentences in the state, for murder, robbery, type of crime. And these were the guys that I hung out with whenever I could. So tennis did get me out. It didn't get me out the way I was hoping it would have, with the big mansion in Beverly Hills and, the Wimbledon championship. It didn't get me out that way, but it did protect me in other ways that, because whenever I do something, I'll be all in.
Right.
I don't go halfway, I'm like, if this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing.
Sure.
I ain't gonna do it a little bit, I'm gonna do it a lot. And then when I look back, my brothers and sisters gangbang. So the only thing that I know that kept me from that could only be tennis.
Okay. At one point in high school, you met a teacher that was involved in drugs.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Mr. Fisher. We played tennis together and we hung out together. I mean, he was really cool. And when I first got introduced to cocaine, I'd stopped hanging out with him, stopped calling him, and so forth. And then when I did go back around after a few months, he was like, "Where you been?" And I had enough love and admiration for him to be honest with him. And I told him that I got involved with cocaine.
Now, when you got involved in cocaine, in what way?
I started selling.
Okay. Were you using it all?
At that time, I never used. I never Never used it.
What kept you from using it, being around it?
So pay attention to this part right here, because this is an intricate part. This basically is the introduction to Rick Ross's story, in a sense, of his character that he plays as the rapper.
Well, like I said, I was a tennis player.
Okay.
I was an athlete. And, you know, athletes are not supposed to use drugs. They're supposed to run, exercise, and be as fit as they can be.
Okay.
Well, that was my mentality. Even when I started selling drugs, I still wanted to be fit, because when I first started selling drugs, it wasn't going to be a career.
Just a side hustle.
Well, a quick fix, you know.
Yeah.
Fix my car, give me some tennis lessons, give me some new rackets, pay for a few lessons. My life is right. Now I'm back to my tennis.
So how did you actually get involved in selling drugs initially? I mean, in terms of like, what was the actual situation around it?
Like I said in the book, you didn't get to read the book yet, but one of my big homies, who was kind of like a tookie in the neighborhood, big, muscular football player, tough, was playing football at San Jose State. He called me. I was down on my luck. I didn't know where I was going to get my next 50 cents from. And he was like, man, what you doing? And I was like, oh, man, I'm just sitting here and on mom's porch. And he was like, man, I got the next best thing. I got the thing that everybody's doing. Come by the house. So when I go by his house, he laid some cocaine out on the table.
Powder cocaine.
Powder cocaine and little rocks, though, you know, like they had broke it off of an actual kilo.
This was not cooked cocaine. This was actually...
Right.
It was just literally the cocaine
Yeah.
broken off from the packed
Correct.
cocaine. Okay.
Not sifted and cut up.
Okay. So when you saw it, what happened next?
Well, I didn't know if it was cocaine or not, because it was yellow. And I'm thinking cocaine was white. You know, in the movie Superfly, the cocaine was white, not yellow. So this cocaine was yellow. So now I'm kind of like taken back, because, you know, Superfly, that's my hero. I know.
He didn't realize it was pure cocaine. That's what that was. He didn't realize it was pure cocaine at the time. And if you don't know, a little quick Easter egg for you guys, dope is actually beige.
He know what he doing. So now Mike, I don't know. Mike, you a football player. You don't know nothing about no cocaine. So Mike convinced me into taking a little piece and going around and showing it to some people. And that's pretty much what I did.
He fronted you the cocaine?
Yeah, $50 worth.
$50 worth. And he said, bring back the $50. And
Yeah, I was supposed to bring back the 50.
Whatever you keep after that's your money.
Exactly. Well, I didn't know all that.
He gave you $50 worth of powdered cocaine. And what'd you do with it?
Well, I started going around the neighborhood asking people, what was it? You know, all the OGs. You know, I went to the liquor store where Bonnie hung out at, and Black, and all the guys who I felt were more advanced in the street than I was. I went and asked them.
Amazing how you start out in the street too, where you don't even know what you actually have. Someone basically gives you the drug. You actually have money in your pocket, but you don't know what the fuck you even have. So you got to go around asking people like, yo, what the fuck is this anyway? Speaking from experience, I guess.
Eventually I run into Martin, who was a pimp, and Martin looked at it and he said, come on, go with me. We're going to go find out what it is. So Martin takes me over to his house and pulls out his little back bag and takes out his little torch, and he goes to heating this bottle. He puts some stuff in the bottle and he's heating it up, and the stuff is bubbling and gelling, and he takes it over to the sink, puts some cold water in it. Booyah, he got a rock.
Oh, so he actually made crack right there in front of you?
He did.
Okay.
That was the first time I ever saw crack.
Okay.
What they call crack, we don't call it crack. We call it Ready Rock.
Ready Rock.
Yeah, we never called it crack. That's a government term.
So,
That was the term the government used so they could hammer everybody.
okay, so he went and made some Ready Rock in front of you.
Yeah. And then after that, he hit it and tasted it, and he was like, you know, do the...
So interesting enough right there, like he just, a quick Easter egg. It was never called crack cocaine. It was called Ready Rock. So the government actually called it crack cocaine. Interesting.
They little number. I need another piece. Then he hit another piece. And then after a while, it was like, man, That's all you got left. You can't sell that. Give me all that. I owe you $50.
Did he actually pay you back the $50?
Nope. But he brought other people to me.
Oh, so he knocked you for the 50, but he brought some new customers
He
over.
brought me some new customers. He brought me my first $100 sale.
So you had to go back.
No, I didn't go back to Mike right then. I went back to the porch. I went back to the porch.
Because you owe Mike $50.
Oh, Mike, now I'm worse off than I was.
Right, you're $50 in the hole.
At least I wasn't 50 in the hole. Now I'm 50 in the hole. So I'm sitting on the porch going like, wow. But then I look up. Here come Martin. Then he got this dude with him, this big old dude, is Mouse, Big Mouse, who's a Crip, and then they had $100. And he was like, man, I want $100 of that. Martin told me about it. And I was like, wow, what am I gonna do?
Because you have no more cocaine.
I don't have no cocaine and I owe Mike 50, so how do I deal with that? Well, I called Mike, I told Mike what happened. I told him they had 100, and if he would bring the 100 over right then, he could get $100. So he did it, and that started my business.
Investment.
That's how my whole business started, with those two guys.
Investment for investment. So yeah, that's basically in a nutshell how Freeway Rick Ross started his whole dealings in the street, and this is how Rick Ross, the rapper, was basically able to idolize this and model his character, the rapper, after this person right here. So when you hear Freeway's Revenge, that's who Game is actually talking about. So let's just get into the Game, of course. And this was a lyrical onslaught. Like I said, I don't know what the hell Rick Ross did, but you done woke up a beast.
Don't I ask you that you keep it real with me? Don't I ask you that you keep it real with me?
Cut open his stomach and stuff bricks in it. Put his body on a scale like it's fish in it. I can see the bitch in him. $20 million home renovation just to slit your wrists in it. Suicide, it's a suicide. Rip apart the Maybach, I know the truth's inside. You 12 lemon pepper wings from a heart attack. Academics, get this nigga Ozempic starter pack. Casa knock, hit the room, turn that stream on. Ags buttons by this brief encounter with King Kong. This ain't the Kendrick beef, my Drake sing song. Shots ring out, your neighbor better have his ring on. Glock swing out, doors open like a swing on. Pac lean out, Machiavelli with the ring on. Ops is out, they on the same shit that we on. Hospital, wheelchair, hair wrap, sling on. It's payback pump for the drama you tried to bring on. Maybach trunks, type of shit that we eat our wings on. My K-Dot shit, I don't have to turn the beam on. It's that time of the month, get his pussy something to bleed on.
What the fuck did you wake up, Ross? What did you do, bro? Bro, what did you say? What did you say to the Game that he is annihilating you like this? My nigga, I woke up hearing this audio saying, what in the hell? Because like I said, the Game is one of the worst people that you want to bring up in a rap battle beef. He is just bringing nothing but disrespect to you. Niggas started off saying we gonna cut open your stomach and stuff bricks in it.
Your baby mama told me that you like to get peed on. You a CEO, that's the last time you had keys on it.
Man, bruh, bruh, he talking about Tia. He talking about Tia already. He talking about Tia right there.
We know you treat gunplay like he a peon, and he know some shit that ain't cool for him to speak on. My PO said this ain't the record that we agreed on, then cut it off like the ankle monitor for the beep on. My niggas will learn French just to get they scheme on in Cali with calicos. Don't need Cali to get his scream on. We the West, free the guys, I gotta free the West. I'm muy loco, I don't need a vest. I'm watching Scarface and cleaning text. Shots gon' be direct. Have you been through Cedar yet? When cars pull up, we do explosives and heater checks. The lights flick, the dogs bark, and niggas sleeping less. Under palm trees, we got them choppers that'll eat your flesh. The real Rick Ross know every bird gotta leave a nest. You stole your name, I pulled your facts. You looked that big and stole the staff. Facts. I smell pussy, that odor fat. You ain't sold no birds, you trolled the owl.
Don't I ask you that you keep it real with me? Don't I ask you that you keep it real with me?
Cut open his stomach and stuff bricks in it. Put his body on a scale like it's fish in it. I can see the bitch in him. $20 million home renovation just to slit your wrists in it. Suicide, this is suicide. Rip apart the Maybach, I know the truth's inside. You 12 lemon pepper wings from a heart attack. Academics, get this nigga Ozempic starter pack. Casa not, hit the room, turn that stream on. Ags buttons by this brief encounter with King Kong. This ain't the kindred beef, my Drake sing song. Shots ring out, your neighbor better have his ring on. Glock swing out, doors open like a swing on. Pac lean out, Machiavelli with the ring on. Ops is out, they on the same shit that we on. Hospital, wheelchair, hair wrap, sling on. It's payback pump for the drama you tried to bring on. Maybach trunks, type of shit that we eat our wings on. My K-Dot shit, I don't have to turn the beam on. It's that time of the month, get this pussy something to bleed on. Your baby mama told me that you like to get peed on. You a CO, that's the last time you had keys on. And we know you treat gunplay like he a peon. And he know some shit that ain't cool for him to speak on. My P.O. said this ain't the record that we agreed on. Then cut it off like the ankle monitor for the beep on. My niggas will learn French just to get they steam on. In Cali with calicos, don't need Khaled to get his scream on. We the West, free the guys, I gotta free the West. I'm muy loco, I don't need a vest. I'm watching Scarface and cleaning text. Shots gon' be direct. Have you been through Cedar yet? When cars pull up, we do explosives and heater checks. The lights flick, the dogs bark, and niggas sleeping less. Under palm trees, we got them choppers that'll eat your flesh. The real Rick Ross know every bird gotta leave a nest. You stole your name, I pulled your facts. You looked that big and stole the staff. Facts. I smell pussy, that odor fat. You ain't sold no birds, you trolled the owl. Draco flick, it's like the light on the Carter 4. Bad kid, good city, I studied the art of war. Run into that hand-me-down mansion and lock up all the doors. Stop with all that raving, nigga, you not from Baltimore. I don't wanna hear about no fish tanks and marble floors. No spiral steps, no swimming pools, no hors d'oeuvres, no Audemars, no car shows, no pinky rings, no umbrellas in the car doors. Introduce me on my connect to that Colombian you chopped that raw for. It wasn't fabricated, the lies you tell are getting saturated. What happened to the birds in the Maserati? They just evaporated? Boss, that shit be too exaggerated. Fucking with a Compton nigga, get your head decapitated. Leonard DiCaprio, all that cap like you activated. I just bought 100 for yacht and it was captivating. Congratulations, what an imagination. From CO to drug kingpin, now this nigga acting Haitian. The stories these niggas tell, he gon' tell us he got a key for every nigga he locked in a cell. He gon' tell us he just bought another crib, he living well, but he won't tell us about his health condition. He sick as hell, he popping pills. They starting to fuck with his brain, seizures off the lean. Balenciaga shorts got shit stains, he not a mastermind. He got it, line after line, laid back in the Maybach, making up shit just to pass the time. He think he Big Meech, free Larry Hoover, Miami a big beach. Now watch how I maneuver, I don't tippy toe. I know plenty Zos that pull up in semi-trucks, hop out and let a semi go, so let me know. I let the boys in them drop Chevys go. It's humid in the 305, but they pushing heavy snow. Compton Grand Reaper, I make you reap with the devil, so walking through live with the same eyes niggas had in belly though. This ain't the new Death Row, this the old Harry O. Game is one of them niggas, Blue Da Vinci, Meech and Terry know, so my advice is let it go. Oh, I almost forgot, fuck Bel Air, it's West Side, we let the Henny flow. So when that muzzle smoke and that thing hot, even when the camera out of focus, just know the beam not. Run up on you, clean shots, look down on you, flash on like an iPhone taped to the ceiling with the screen lock. This nigga drug women, that's how your team rock. And all that money you rap about gon' get you a mean plot. But in the meantime, I'ma let your fake fiends cop. And I know you doing your thing, but this is where the wings stop.
that beat switch too. On that beat switch, that's why I had to run that back. Cause see, that's the thing. The game is one of those lyrical monsters. So he doesn't have to throw a bunch of subliminals at you. He's gonna come at you very direct. Plus, the game can fight. If you don't know, if you don't know, the game can actually fight. Okay, that's one thing. So for Ross to be, like I said, for Ross to even be doing this right now, I'm a little bit perplexed. I'm a little bit perplexed by this. And real quick, I just want to remind y'all of, once again, who Rick Ross is dealing with. Because do y'all remember when he ran up on 40 Glock back in the day? It was no, I'm gonna diss you in a rap record. It was more so, I'm just gonna run up on you and beat the shit out of you type shit.
Thank you for that, nigga. Stay off of me, nigga. Alright. Alright. You stand on me, nigga. Alright. See you in the hospital, nigga. That, right? What? You wanna finish it? You wanna finish it right here? Huh? What?
Yeah.
This is who Rick Ross playing with.
Huh? Yeah. Huh? You wanna put a nigga on the internet now, nigga? Huh? You wanna put a nigga on the internet? Huh? Huh? You wanna put a nigga on... Oh, you squaring up? Huh?
This is who Rick Ross is playing with.
Look at him. Look at him. 40 Glock. Look at 40 Glock, y'all. Punk ass nigga.
This is who Ross playing with.
Check him out.
Let it go.
No. Nigga. Oh. And it could be another one, boy.
I understand that.
No. And it could be another one, bro. Chuck, let it go.
Chuck, let it go. Chuck, let it go.
Oh, bitch ass gonna call the police, nigga.
Chuck is still chasing this nigga with his phone on.
Blood all on my shit, man. Bitch ass nigga. Fuck that nigga. On Cedar, nigga. Money gang, bitch. Thank you for that, nigga. Stay off of me, nigga. Alright.
Why? Why is Ross playing with this man?
See you in the hospital, nigga. Right? What?
This is not the man that you want to wake up in a battle or a fight. I don't think Ross could shoot the fair one with game. That's just being the honest one.
Yeah.
That's just being an honest one. I don't think Ross could even stand toe to toe with the game. Yeah, Ross work out. Ross might, you know what I'm saying, do a little 1-2. But the game is different. The game is a little bit different. That's why I'm like, when I'm hearing him rap, it might be one or two of these diss tracks, but Ross say the wrong thing, and we're gonna see one of these videos out of Rick Ross. I'm just letting y'all know ahead of time that the game is not to be played with. And it's, of course, and it's time to play the game now. So I am very intrigued to hear what Rick Ross is going to say in a rap record. He has already made it clear that he has responded already by subliminally dissing the game. I'm going to go to his story real quick.
Dr. G.R.E. Rose, let's get him.
Busting his ass on the damn car.
Open this for me. I think this. If you want to know what the boss weekend gonna be like, tonight, Vegas. In 30 days, we're gonna have a skating challenge. I'm gonna challenge any of you, man. Mayweather, Chris Brown, what's up? Look at that, look at that. The drill.
he actually responded back to the game. Okay, so this is one right here where, as you see, he's playing the game in 50 Cent in the background while he pops the trunk.
You niggas don't want to
There you
eat.
go.
You niggas don't want to eat my slime. You niggas starving. You niggas starving.
So that was his little response back to the game, of course. But Rose is I don't know if Rose is ready for this right now. And this, of course, is riding off of the Drake and Rick Ross beef. And if you guys don't know, Drake actually had a little run-in this morning where the people had actually, some people had actually, was trespassing this morning. Where I think it was the second person that actually trespassed against Drake. See, police called to Drake's home after another trespasser tried to access his property. The trespassing incident following a shooting on Drake's property that seriously injured the security guard on Tuesday morning. A person tried to gain access to Drake's mansion in Toronto on Thursday afternoon, according to law enforcement. The second to do so this week. Police said the trespasser was confronted by security guards on the property and later taken to a hospital after the altercation. Police said that the investigating the incident. Representatives for Drake declined to comment. The incident comes after another trespasser was apprehended at the rapper's home on Wednesday. A source familiar with Drake's property told NBC at the time that the person was immediately confronted at the gate by security and turned over to police. Police said the incident Wednesday was not a criminal matter and that the details would not be released about the person in accordance with the Ontario Mental Health Act. These acts provide means for people to receive an emergency assessment without their consent through support of a physician or justice of the peace. Police said the trespassing incidents follow a shooting on Drake's property that seriously injured a security guard on Tuesday morning. The guard was shot from a vehicle which then fled the scene. Police said in the news release, motives around the shooting and trespassers have not been made public. Drake has been embroiled in a feud with fellow rapper Kendrick Lamar in recent weeks, which we already covered. Of course, this has nothing to do with Kendrick Lamar. This is more so to do with OVO XO gang, as we covered in the last podcast, where Amir Cash, the manager of The Weeknd, was also his security was shot just literally a week before Drake's security guard was shot as well. So we already know that this is more of a OVO XO gang retaliation going on right now. And who's to say what's going on as far as the trespassing is going on? What I do know is the fact that Drake is definitely going to have to move. He cannot stay in Toronto, Canada anymore. This is more of a thing where your son is at danger. Your family is at danger. Dog, you just have to move at this point. You've already caused chaos in the city. We covered that as well with the I just need you to think, find the jewels like cash, though. I just need you to think. We already covered that jewel as well, where the summer of 2016 was the highest homicide rate that Toronto had ever seen since the rapper Drake had ever been signed back in 2008. So, needless to say, Drake has already caused his chaos in the city. The people are already fed up. Now you're bringing, shootings and trespassings to a neighborhood on Bridle Path where, it's a rich neighborhood. People do not want to see or even hear about there being shootings or trespassings going on at a mansion where you have damn near the tallest gates in the entire city. That's another thing. There were rules that were broken for Drake's mansion to even be built. And for him to even have the type of security that he has, certain laws of the city were even broken. For him to even have these type of walls and the type of structure that he has built for him. And of course, he's a huge celebrity. He brings a lot of revenue to the city. At the same time, now he's also brought a lot of chaos to the city, unfortunately. So this is one of those times where he's definitely going to have to move from Toronto. Maybe he'll be able to move to Alberta, Canada, or, you know, Montreal, Canada, one of those type of cities. And he'll still be in Canada, of course, but he definitely won't be able to be in Toronto, Canada for much longer with all these things going on around him right now. Of course, like I said, him being the not necessarily the bigger star of the weekend, but him having the most, of course, notoriety of the past few weeks with the most beef as far as, you know, and altercations happening around him. Prayers definitely go out to Drake and his family, because even though you're inside a rap beef, you definitely don't want to hear something as far as that going on. You never want to hear anything about, you know, someone going through the matter of you don't want to hear about someone going through the matter of trauma and danger going on at their household. That's one thing that's very important to also think about. You know, Drake may be a huge celebrity. He may be one of the most hated celebrities right now. Of course, with all the memes and the jokes going at him. Of course, the pedophile accusations do not, you know, help him at all. The rap beef, him losing that with Kendrick Lamar, does not help at all. You know, his beef with The Weeknd does not help at all. It's like I said, it's one of those times where he's almost having the Diddy effect happening to him. If you don't notice, the Diddy effect is happening to Drake because the entire industry is actually going at Drake right now. So it's one of those things where he's been on top for 14 years. People just want to see him fall. So, like I said, it's just best for Drake to just quietly go away. Like he said in the last record, he needs to go on. He wanted to go on vacation. He didn't want to necessarily keep going toe to toe with Kendrick Lamar. And with this going on right now, it's in his best interest to actually just go away. If all this is going on around him, like I said, he has a son to raise. His mother, I'm sure, is very concerned. His father is very concerned right now. It's time for Drake to just, you know, go away. And speaking of Drake, what recently happened 24 hours ago was that, you know, if we think about what happened with Future's album, of course, my thing is going crazy. If we think about what happened with Future's album also. So Future's album was supposed to come out, and it didn't. Of course, Future didn't drop the mixtape he teased, and fans are confused. Pluto might not have meant what he said. Future's work ethic is legendary. He dropped mixtapes like A Madman in the mid-2010s, and he just put out a 2 collab album with Metro Boomin. You know, the ones that started that Drake and Kendrick Lamar battle. Pluto has thrown shots at the Sixth God here and there, but it seemed like he was moving on from the battle to focus on new music. He got on Twitter and set Freeband's fan base on fire with 2 announcements on May 7th and May 10th and the mixtape Pluto. Even those who practice Foxy Brown math knew, that's wild to say that, with this new mixtape on May 10th. Well, it turns out 2 and 2 didn't make 4. The release date came and there was no new tape. Instead, Future dropped a new single with T Grizzly titled Swear to God. The single absolutely hits, the Future and Grizzly swapping bars over an animated trap beat. The confusion over there being a new mixtape stemmed from the chorus of the Swear to God record, of course. So Future quoted a misleading lyric from his new single. Now, I just want to say this. Future also put out tweets that he was putting out a new album. Hold on. Not sure why it had an extra little E. So, this is what he put out here. May 10th, fuck your album. Shit ain't slapping like my mixtape. So he had put out those tweets about a week ago, and fans had actually went into a frenzy when he put May 10th up there. So today, of course, is May 10th, and there's no Future album. Now, I can tell you already why there is no Future album. There's no Future album because of the cease and desist that Drake has now put on it. The reason why there is a cease and desist is because we all know that Drake has partnerships with Universal Records. Now, let me actually show you something real quick. Universal Records. Now, you see Universal Music Group, right? Notice you have Republic Records. Matter of fact, let me just back up real quick and show y'all just Epic Records itself, right? So you see the parent organization is Sony Music Entertainment, and the founder is Columbia Records. Now if I put in Universal Music Group again, you see all these labels that Universal owns? Now, we don't have to have rocket science here to tell you that with Universal Music Group owning all these record labels, it's very easy for a cease and desist to come from the man they call Drake. Because as we know, Drake got the cease and desist, if we don't remember, on French Montana. And this was actually confirmation of it.
Big Gamma, fuck they talking about, Larry? Yeah, nigga, let's go.
I'll give you one answer to that question, which doesn't pick a side or anything. The cease and desist letter was a real thing. I thought that was really funny in January. But other than that, I got no dog in this race, man.
But I don't know why. Why would I send my friend a cease and desist on a mixtape? That was mad.
You know, we all have different senses of humor. You know what I mean? I thought it was funny. I don't think anybody was really trying to be nefarious. I just thought it was a joke.
Well, them dudes sure felt like he was trying to be nefarious.
Huh. Listen, man, I love everybody involved, man.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, we know.
I love everybody involved, and I will say this though. It's interesting that the people who sit at the top of the skyscraper in the ivory towers just love this because they make so much money off of it. You know what I mean? It's like
I should tell you right there.
They watch us and let us fight with each other. And they go into the marketing meeting later on that day and ask how many streams their music got. It's just funny. You know what I mean? When you think about it from a very business-minded corporate perspective. That's my only point of view about it.
I agree with that.
That's peace.
I agree with that. 100%.
And salute.
That's the sad part.
That's the sad part. You know, we sit here as an audience really not even really kind of really taking into account who truly benefits if you follow the money at the end of the day. And these guys, just kind of stir it up and send legal letters and do all this kind of stuff. And, ultimately the people that benefit are the chairman and CEOs of these companies really who, kind of enjoy it. I mean,
Big Gamma, fuck they talking.
So, if that doesn't tell you enough, Drake has a lot of power out here. And one of the biggest reasons he has so much power out here now, with that coming into play, is RZA Islam actually brought something to light. I want to say, what was it, Friday? Last Friday? As you see here, the 118th Congress Anti-Semitism Awareness Act was actually updated. And what that means is, okay, so here's the original bill, right? This bill provides statutory authority for the requirement that the Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights take into consideration the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance's IHRA's working definition of anti-Semitism when reviewing or investigating complaints of discrimination based on race, color, or national origin in programs or activities that receive federal financial assistance. According to the IHRA's working definition, anti-Semitism is a certain perception of, get this, a certain perception of Jews, which may be expressed as hatred towards Jews. So, as you see here, latest action, Senate, May 2nd, 2024. So you see what this says here? ACLU condemns House passage of dangerous bill that would chill free speech. This is back on May 2nd, 2024. This bill would falsely equate criticism of Israel with anti-Semitic discrimination. Washington Post, I guess. The American Civil Liberties Union strongly condemns the House of Representatives for passing H.R. 6090, the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, which threatens to censor political speech critical of Israel on college campuses under the guise of addressing anti-Semitism. Now, what does this mean, actually? So, just to bring you guys up to actual speed on what this actually means. So, what this really is talking about is the fact that you can't basically use any type of defamation of character against the Jewish community. So, needless to say, allegedly, I'll say that, based upon this act, of course, we all know that Jewish people run the media in the entertainment industry and a lot of other things, okay? So, based upon that fact, they are making it so that you cannot say anything against them or pretty much make any type of defamation of character against them. What this has to do with a person like Drake is Jewish because of his mom, okay? Drake even had a bar mitzvah in his video, HYFR, if you guys don't remember. So, before I continue, loud and proud of his Jewish roots, he has made a rap video about his rebar mitzvah, Instagram photographs of his cedar table, and sung multiple songs about his mother, born on October 24th, 1986. His mother is Sandra Sandy Graham, a Canadian I can't pronounce that, Ashkenazi Jew, and his father is African-American drummer Dennis Graham, of course, Drake. So, Drake, of course, being Jewish, has a lot of connections that are in higher places that a lot of people do not know about. So if you're wondering how does a artist like Drake even get a $400 million deal from Universal Music Group, it is because mainly that he is Jewish also. So with that being said, he can put a cease and desist on a Future record right now. Ironically, the name Future, he can put a cease and desist on a record right now, especially if it is something that would be anti-Semitism or defamation of character against someone that is Jewish like Drake. So, example, Kendrick Lamar with his pedophile allegations right now, right? They pretty much have a cease and desist on him even making any more further records against Drake, making any pedophile allegations against him because of this anti-Semitism act that is H.R. 6090. So let's move forward. The House's approval of this misguided and harmful bill is a direct attack on the First Amendment, said Christopher Anders, director of ACLU's Democracy and Technology Policy Division. Addressing rising anti-Semitism is critically important, but sacrificing Americans' free speech rights is not the way to solve that problem. This bill would throw the full weight of the federal government behind an effort to stifle criticism of Israel and risk politicizing the enforcement of federal civil rights statutes precisely when their robust protections are most needed. The Senate must block this bill that undermines First Amendment protections before it's too late. This bill directs the Department of Education to consider an overboard definition of anti-Semitism that encompasses protected political speech when investigating allegations of discrimination under the Title Title VI of the Civil Rights Act. The ACLU has warned this could pressure colleagues in universities to restrict student and faculty speech critical of the Israeli government and its military operations out of fear of the college losing federal funding. So if you also, to note one of the other reasons why this even came about, if you haven't noticed, there were certain protesters that were damaging certain properties, and police had to be brought to attention to that as well. As a recent ACLU letter to Congress made clear, federal law already prohibits anti-Semitic discrimination and harassment by federally funded entities, and the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act is not needed to protect Jewish students from discrimination. Additionally, as the Supreme Court ruled more than 50 years ago in the landmark decision of Healy versus James, the court leaves no room for the view that because of the acknowledged need for order, First Amendment protections should apply with less force on college campuses than in the community at large. Quite to the contrary, the vigilant protection of constitutional freedoms is now where more vital than in the community of American schools. So, like I said, needless to say, that H.R. 6090 bill that is being passed right now is, one of the least of our worries, but at the same time, it's one of the heavier part of our worries. I was doing an investigation also on the avian influenza of the United States of America so pretty much there are way more things that we have to think about that besides rat beef. So I've been looking behind the scenes at, why are we getting so much rat beef and why there's so many other distractions in front of us. These are one of the things that are being passed in front of us that we just aren't privy to, like the H.R. 6090 bill and the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act being updated to basically just make it so we can't say anything about anyone that is of Jewish descent or Jewish connection. And also, I was looking up the Texas Standard for May 3rd, 2024, the latest of the avian flu outbreak among dairy cows. So, of course, this might not be important to some of you, but if you think about your dairy products and just, the cheese that you get, the milk that you get, there's also an avian flu outbreak that is going on right now. So, real quick, just brief synopsis of it, situation at glance. The World Health WHO, of course, the World Health Organization was notified about a laboratory-confirmed case of human infection with influenza virus on April 1st. Now, of course, this isn't something that has been brought to huge attention. But of course, it's not something that's not going to be brought to huge attention to a lot of people. But it's one of those things that could be a huge outbreak in the coming months, of course. So it says the patient developed symptoms on 27th of March and had a history of exposure to dairy cattle, which was cows, are presumed to be infected with the influenza, the H5N1 virus. It's the second confirmed human case of influenza detected in the country. So it appears to be the first human infection acquired from contact with an infected mammal, although human infections with other influenza subtypes have previously been acquired from mammals. No additional associated cases of human infection with influenza have been identified. So, quick description of the situation was, of course, on April 1st, and they had a case of someone that caught it that was of 18 years old, over 18 years old. Like I said, it's nothing that's major right now, but it's just one of those things that, like I said, you just have to pay attention to within the next coming months, I would say. So real quick, also wanted to get into Cuba Gooding Jr. So Cuba actually was pretty much putting his foot in his mouth about.
Did you ever do anything with Tupac or no?
Situation.
Did you ever?
No, I saw him right before he passed too. Yeah, that's crazy. Never work with him though.
What did Tupac do? He did gang-related Poetic Justice. He did Juice. And he did a couple other things. He did a basketball.
Did something with Jim Belushi. Remember he did the one thing?
What did he do? Can you Above the Rim, Poetic Justice with Janet Jackson, which I thought it was great.
Yeah. Bullet, I think is.
Oh yeah, gang-related album soundtrack was actually good. I don't know if you've listened to the gang-related soundtrack. It was
Not
actually
in a minute. Not in a minute.
Yeah, it was a really, really good soundtrack.
Yeah.
Cuba, with all this stuff that's coming up with Diddy and you're on one end, 50 Cent is calling out Diddy and here's what he's doing and all this stuff, and they got the back and forth.
Yeah.
I got Suge on here.
Look at this example. Look what happened.
Yeah. And I got Suge on. Yeah, exactly. No question about it. What do you think's going on with all the stuff with Diddy, with Little Rod, with, all the stories that everybody's hearing about?
You mean in terms of what?
I mean, being raiding his house being raided.
I mean, that's crazy. That's the craziest thing I'd ever. And then, hey, how about me? I wake up in the morning, I turn on the Today Show, and actor Cuba Gooding Jr. I was like, excuse me.
Notice how he's also already trying to be very defensive about it, but he's trying to act like he has no idea what's going on, like he's not a fucking defendant in the entire case of Little Rod right now.
Pull me into this. I think whatever he's dealing with, he's on his journey, man. I think that God has got him on a path where I can't imagine that he's stupid enough to do whatever he's doing and keep it on his premises. I think that the raid and all of that stuff, only time will tell who was involved, who had been a frequent guest in these places and areas. It's funny because my lawyers said, every outlet in the world wants to talk to you. And again, I'm like, I'm not defining myself from some headline in the press. So I stayed quiet. And it's so funny. So I'll tell you a little story about who my girlfriend is. She gave Robert De Niro 3 grandkids. Her name is Claudine De Niro. She married his son, Raphael. They separated, and we've been together for a while. But she, at one point, ran Naomi Campbell's publicity. She had one.
Notice how he took it completely off of the fact that he asked him about Diddy in the yacht in the first place. He completely reversed it when he asked him about, hey, what do you even know about, Diddy and the yacht and the Little Rod case? Like I said, he's acting, oblivious to the fact that he is a whole defendant on the Little Rod case. Notice that he's not even saying anything about saying, oh, my lawyer said not to say anything, or I can't say anything right now. He's just deflecting the entire question.
Ran P. Diddy's publicity right when he started doing the white party thing. He had just gotten freed from indictment, found not guilty. Did he? And he said to her, I'm going to die running with these niggas, man. I need you to help me with the white folks and the switch. And so she helped cultivate his new image. So they had a friendship for years. But I had never met him till probably 2019, 20, just casually, Claudine and I, he invited us to his house. The pandemic was starting to ease, you know, and hadn't seen him since that night where this guy with this picture that says that I had my shoulder on him and all this stuff, making it look sordid. Well, that picture, everyone in the room, there's probably 300 of us on the deck of P. Diddy's, I'm going to show you, on P. Diddy's boat, New Year's Eve. I went from one ship, Happy New Year. So I hung out with Tyson, and next ship, there's Drake. This ship had P. Diddy. He had his guy, his videographer. They're listening to music. And he says, hey, Cube, listen, you want to hear P. Diddy's new song? I said, yeah, sure. Sit down next to him. They didn't.
We're going to pause it right here because we're going to go right to the Little Rod case right now because he's lying. He's definitely lying about that. For the simple fact that I don't believe that that was even on. If I remember correctly, that was not on the New Year's Eve. I don't believe Cuba Gooding Jr. was on the New Year's Eve yacht. If I'm remembering correctly. See if I can find that PDF real quick. This is the original one. Okay, let me just find it real quick. Just pull it up. See if I can find the original one. Because from what I remember, Mr. Cuba Gooding Jr. Okay, so let's see here. So we're going to take a pause and look right back at the case. Okay. So Mr. Combs attempts to pass off Mr. Jones to Cuba Gooding Jr. Mr. Jones believes that Mr. Combs was grooming him to pass him off his friends. This fear became reality when Mr. Combs introduced Mr. Jones to Cuba Gooding Jr. while they were on Mr. Combs' yacht. During the introduction, Mr. Combs suggested that Cuba get to know Mr. Jones better. He then left them alone in the makeshift studio on the yacht, as evidenced by a video of which screenshots are embedded below. Cuba Gooding Jr. began touching and groping. Okay, so yeah. Doesn't say anything here about it being the New Year's Eve event. So that right there tells me right there that Cuba Gooding Jr. is definitely lying already. There was nothing about it being a New Year's Eve party. Especially when on the New Year's Eve party, everybody was pretty much inside their own little separate things, doing their own little separate thing. And if I remember correctly, during the New Year's party, that was the New Year's party was where everybody was upstairs. There was nobody in the studio. Yeah, there was nobody in the studio whatsoever. So that should tell you right there, Mr. Cuba Gooding Jr. is lying.
Use this angle, which to me makes me laugh because I go, oh, I get it. You made it look the way you wanted it to look. But that, and if you hold it, you know how you hold it and it does the thing where, can you hear all the people? If you tap it or something, it's a live picture. You see what I mean? It's like, here we are just listening to music. Finished, took the thing off, said whatever I said to him, left. That was it. But this guy who's suing him, going after the money, man. I'm sure. And by the way, I don't know P. Diddy's life. I don't know what he's going through. I don't know what the police are going to find on all of that.
Were you guys close? Were you guys friends or?
We were acquaintances, just like I just showed you.
Yeah.
2-3 times I've seen him. So it's.
Oh, so Diddy, you've only seen him 2 or 3 times.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So why would they include you all of a sudden in some way?
I think because of the darkness of the other grab of the cases that I already had went through.
Right. A lot of that stuff is 18 though, 19, right? Those are from 5-6 years ago.
That's
the cases.
Right. That's right.
Notice how he even says that it's because of the cases that he went through. Cuba needs to understand that it's nothing to do with the cases that he went through. It's more so to do with the cases that Diddy is going through. It's nothing to do with the cases that Cuba Gooding Jr. has went through in the past whatsoever. So again, this is another case of him doing the whole deflection thing, knowing that he's basically caught in a lie. So he also said that there are hundreds of people around. We already saw in the pictures that it was pretty much just Diddy, Little Rod, and Cuba Gooding Jr. in the picture, right? So when Cuba Gooding Jr. has his arm around Little Rod, there's nobody around pretty much. And if there's a New Year's party going on around, I pretty much doubt that Diddy is just down there in the studio. Remember, he said in the original part of this that this was the New Year's party. So if there's a New Year's party going on, who the fuck is going to be just sitting around in the studio at that time? Of course, even if there's it's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, there's nobody just going to be chilling in the studio on New Year's when there's an entire party going on upstairs outside. Okay, so again, Cuba Gooding Jr. is caught in a huge lie right here.
And that was that at the peak of the Me Too movement, or was that pre-Me Too movement?
That's
that
right.
Is Me
That's
Too
right
movement,
when it
right?
kicked off. Yeah,
right.
That was crazy.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Diddy.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
But I did not know that you guys only hung out 2 or 3 times.
That's it, man.
And 50 was with you for your 56th birthday. I think you guys were hanging out together in Miami.
Yeah, because we were in St. Bart's on that boat. But then in Miami, which is where I run around now, of course, I ran into 50 and he was promoting his champagne. I've seen Drake 100 times around town. He loves Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
50.
I'm big with the rappers, man.
How do you feel about 50? How's 50 like?
It's so funny. I got a call from 50 who reached out to me and said, "We got to uplift our black entertainers and let's work together." I said, "Great." So we'll see,
Notice how he throws 50 Cent in there now. So, of course, we all know that 50 Cent has the beef with Diddy. So, now you're trying to throw 50 Cent in the mix, trying to say, oh, we just want to promote peace. We don't really want to say anything against Diddy. Bullshit, Cuba. We already know that you're being paid to say that for 50.
I try not to voice any of my opinion when it comes to the rap songs because just like everybody else, I'm into that music, man.
Are you following the Lamar and Drake thing?
No, I just heard about that.
Yeah, got it. I mean, that's like a whole...
Somebody just got shot today outside of Drake's house.
I heard.
Did you see that?
I heard.
So, I mean, it's like drive-by shooting in a gated community. I mean, that sounds a little crazy.
Yeah, Drake's security guard seriously injured in shooting at Toronto's mansion. Guard was shot inside Drake's home and had serious but non-life-threatening injuries while the assailant fled in a vehicle.
Yeah, I say to them, just like I said to Tupac when I saw him in the lobby of that hotel in Chicago. He said, "Hey, man, help me, man. Give me some advice." I said, "Hey, man, just remember your artistry first. I know you're getting caught up with all this madness, but you're an artist now." He said, "Thanks, Cube." He hugged me and he went off. And
how old was he at the time?
Well, 2-3 weeks later, he was gone.
Oh, no shit.
I saw him, and here's the second time I saw Tupac. This is a true story. Now, I don't like the conspiracy things. But that day, he was in a convertible, like Rolls Royce. He was at the stop sign. And I was on a hockey tournament, so I was in Vegas as well, playing hockey, and Tyson had his fight. And I jumped out of the car, and I ran up to his car. Pac, it's Cube! And all 3 cars, all these cars, boom, 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 with the guns.
Get out of here.
No, that's Cuba Gooding, man. Hey, that's Cuba Gooding. I go, "Oh, sorry, man." He goes, "You good?" I go, I'm good. I'm sorry, guys, got in the car. So that happens that day when the sun's out, and at night, they get shot, there's no cops around.
Can you believe Cuba Gooding Jr. saying that he was there when Tupac got shot? So if that doesn't tell you enough that Cuba Gooding Jr. is a bona fide compulsive liar, I don't know what the fuck else does. For him to say that he was there in Las Vegas right as Tupac was about to get shot, I guarantee you there's at least 20 to 25 people, if not more, that can pretty much say that Cuba Gooding Jr. was the last fucking person that they saw on the corner where Tupac was shot in Vegas, dog. So I'm not believing a single fucking word that Cuba Gooding Jr. is saying. Number one. Number two, notice the second person now that he has mentioned that is in correlation to Diddy. So the first person he mentioned was 50 Cent. Now he's mentioning Tupac. Notice how Diddy is also in a situation where Keefe D could potentially put him in the place of the murder of Tupac as well. And now Cuba Gooding Jr. is mentioning that he was there with Tupac's shooting. Ironic.
That's a true story. I was involved in that.
So in the morning, few hours later, he's gone.
Yeah. Yes. And so where were all of those undercover cops that pulled the guns on me when I tried to approach him sitting in his car convertible?
What are you saying?
I'm just saying it's weird that they were going to blow me away, and I'm Academy Award winner. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because that's 96. So
Yeah.
and 96, you're like everywhere.
I'm the man.
Yeah, you're the man in
They're like,
96.
we don't care, get away, back up.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
By the way, what did he pay you for Jerry Maguire? I forgot to ask you earlier. Was that your big payday?
No, yeah, at that point, $600,000.
What's the biggest you made for a movie?
Oh, Snow Dogs. You know, I can't talk hell about Snow Dogs. Whoa, that was a good year. Well, that's a 1-2 hit, baby. 13 million total that year.
Wow,
I made a lot
get
of money.
out of here.
Yeah.
Good for you.
You know that money's gone.
Good.
You know, I already spent that money.
Really?
Yeah, $13 million.
I understand.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you made some good investments.
I made some investments, yeah, but yeah, that money.
Hey, final.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to,
And of course, as you know, he spent that money, but it's mainly because, you know, it's Cuba Gooding fucking Jr. So that money was never going to stay in the first place. And for you to have $13 million, oh yeah, I made some investments. I bet that money is gone. You made some investments, but the fucking money is gone. You fucking, you know what? Keep my wits about me. Keep my wits about me. Yeah, man. Cuba Gooding Jr. is a liar, though. If y'all didn't notice that or see that for yourselves, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Like I said, that was not the yacht party, the New Year's party that he was at with that whole thing. That was the main reason that I wanted to show y'all that. Because it seems like he's on a campaign now to try to clear his name as well as Diddy's name. And it didn't look too good for him whatsoever, is what I'll say. With that being said, I may or may not be back tomorrow, but I will have something for y'all.
Cut open his stomach and stuff bricks in it. Put his body on a scale like it's fish in it. I can see the bitch in him. $20 million home renovation just to slit your wrists in it. Suicide, this is suicide. Rip apart the Maybach, I know the truth's inside. You 12 lemon pepper wings from a heart attack. Academics get this nigga Ozempic starter pack. Casa not hit the room, turn that stream on. Ags buttons by this brief encounter with King Kong. This ain't the Kendrick beef. My Drake sing song, shots ring out. Your neighbor better have his ring on. Clock swing out, doors open like a swing on. Pop lean out, Machiavelli with the ring on. Oxys out, they on the same shit that we on. Hospital wheelchair, hair wrap, swing on. It's payback pump for the drama you try to bring on. Maybach trench, the type of shit that we eat our wings on. I play that shit. I don't have to turn the beam on. It's that time of the night. This pussy something to bleed on. Your baby mama told me that you like to get peed on. You a CEO.